What's good? Brian Tong here, and I'm back after hosting CES 2023 in Las Vegas. You know, so many cool things came out of the show, and guess what? You can check out my channel for all my coverage, but we are here, locked in now, back in the studio. But you know what? A whole lot of Apple news also dropped right after the show. So we'll talk about all the fresh iPhone 15 developments, but the latest story from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman claims that after all these years of resistance, Apple is now working on finally bringing touchscreens to the Mac, and that the rumored MacBook Pro with an OLED display could be the first touchscreen Mac in 2025. Now, you've got to realize just how fundamental of a shift this is, and really, it's about damn time, because back in 2010, Steve Jobs said, touch surfaces don't want to be vertical. But how many times have you accidentally reached out to touch your Mac screen now? You have, and especially your kids who think screen must touch, even as big as your TV. Now, Gurman reports that Apple engineers are actively engaged in the touchscreen Mac project and seriously considering it. And look, I don't need it to be fancy. I've always been asking for even the most basic touch control, like pinching and zooming, scrolling up and down for websites, and tapping to launch an app, just simple stuff. Now, the report says that Apple is not looking to combine macOS and iPadOS, and this new MacBook Pro with a touchscreen would still keep the trackpad and keyboard. Now, if this does happen, it would be a major reversal from what Apple has done historically, but when you look at all the innovation that I saw, the explosion of OLED displays coming to laptops this year from Razer, Asus, Lenovo, and more, it is clear that after CES, Apple needs to really step up its game, and this would be a huge turn, but a welcome one. Also, those Apple polishing cloths, yeah, those might be a whole lot harder to get again in a couple of years. Now, Ming-Chi Kuo recently reported that the first OLED MacBook could be released by Apple by the end of 2024 at the earliest, and new OLED displays could allow for thinner and lighter MacBook designs over their current backlit LCD mini LED displays. So with OLED, you're getting better contrast, deeper blacks, more vibrant colors, and then potentially better battery life too. And there's also a lot of rumors that the first OLED Mac would be an Air or a Pro, but things they're gonna figure themselves out as we get closer. But now, before we look too far ahead, in Mark Gurman's State of Apple report, he also says Apple plans to release a larger 15-inch MacBook Air in 2023, and the rumored 12-inch Air is no longer expected to launch this year. Now, I did a breakdown of Apple's MacBook lineup in an earlier video, and a 15-inch Air without a ProMotion display with an M2 in it, that would fit perfectly in the slot and price point between the M2 MacBook Air and the entry-level 14-inch MacBook Pro, where there's a $800 difference right now. Well, Apple's M2 chip is already so powerful for most users that this new 15-inch MacBook Air could be their best-selling Mac in 2023 if it comes out. Okay, everybody, let's get to it. iPhone 15, and there is so much here. In Gurman's all-encompassing report from earlier in the week, he says that Apple plans to bring the dynamic island to the entire iPhone 15 lineup, so that's all 4 models launching later this year, and it's currently only on the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. So the new iPhone 15 lineup would be the same 4 display sizes. That's a 6.1-inch iPhone 15, a 6.7-inch 15 Plus, a 6.1-inch 15 Pro, and a 6.7-inch 15 Pro Max, which might be named the iPhone 15 Ultra and could potentially get a periscope camera lens in that bigger body. Now, the iPhone 15 will also finally make the change to a USB-C port that's universally accepted. It also has faster transfer speeds. Plus, this new 15 will have a titanium frame that could help make it lighter, and there will be haptic volume buttons on the side instead of physical ones. Now, rumors earlier said this was coming, and Gurman's report supports those rumors that 2 new haptic engines will make it feel like you're pressing buttons where the volume buttons are. Now, there are also rumors that Apple could increase the price of the iPhone this year. I know we've heard reports like this in the past couple years, and it hasn't happened yet, so let's just stay tuned for that one. But if you want to look, do I really want to do this? Yeah. Okay, if you want to look ahead to the iPhone 16 Pro, according to the Korean outlet The Elect, the iPhone 16 Pro will feature an under-display Face ID camera to bring a more usable display area at the top. And when it's not in use, the True Depth Face ID camera will not be visible, but just a hole in the display for the front-facing camera that will remain. And yeah, I know we're talking, 2 iPhones ahead now? And I felt like, hey, you might as well just throw that out to you. So we've got 2 years for that rumor to figure itself out. Okay. All right, let's take a moment to thank Morning Brew for sponsoring this video. Now, before I signed up for Morning Brew, I would just aimlessly go through my Twitter feed or hop on a few sites to start my day, but I don't have to anymore. Morning Brew is a free daily newsletter, Monday to Sunday, that puts the most important news up front and gets me up to speed in about 5 minutes. Traditional news can be dry, dense, and boring, while Morning Brew delivers the news in short-form articles that are witty and relevant while giving me the info that I need. Now, you won't find long, drawn-out writing here, and it's great for people who want the most important details. Morning Brew broke down why Google and Meta, two of the biggest names in tech, are struggling right now. There's no reason not to subscribe to Morning Brew if you're interested in business, finance, or tech like me. It's completely free and takes less than 15 seconds to subscribe. Sign up for free by using the link morningbrewdaily.com/Brian Tong on screen or click the link in the description. Sign up to Morning Brew for free today. All right, back to the stories, and we all know that Apple's big product announcement this year is expected to be their new Reality Pro headset, and that's the name that's been floated. And because of that, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman says that iOS 17 could be a less significant update with fewer major changes than originally planned, as many of their engineers are allocated and focused on the AR/VR headset. Now, Apple's headset operating system has been called XROS behind the scenes, and the name of the headset will likely be called Reality Pro, and that will be announced during a spring event before WWDC, according to Gurman's report. Now, this could get developers really a chance to get familiar with it before shipping it in the fall with experiences and apps ready to go. But still, little is known, but Apple's already working with several high-profile developers for developing on their headset with XROS. Now, it's still expected to be a high-end niche device, and look, I saw a lot of demos at CES for Magic Leap 2, which is more enterprise-focused, to the PSVR 2, which is gaming and consumer-focused. And then you got the HTC Vive XR Elite, which was touted as the best new VR headset at CES. And it's going to be really fascinating to see what Apple is prioritizing to make this a unique offering and just how it sets up where they're positioning themselves in the AR/VR market for the future. Now, I would say, talking to many Apple users and general consumers like yourself, you're all instantly turned off by that rumored pricing of $1,500 to $2,000, but still, at the same time, you know, it's Apple. So you're not gonna just close the door on the idea right away. We're just gonna wait and see. Now, amongst all the many things Mark Gurman dropped on the internet this week, he also said Apple is planning no major updates for the iPad, AirPods, Apple TV, or Apple Watch lines this year. There will be some incremental updates, but he reports that we won't expect to see any major hardware design changes and some minor performance improvements. Now, we all got new AirPods Pro 2 and an all-new Apple Watch Ultra last year, so that makes sense, but any hope that we'd see maybe a new AirPods Max looks pretty slim. And now, look, it's only been, now, where I've seen so many more people wearing AirPods Max in the airport thanks to those deep holiday discounts. But Ming-Chi Kuo reports that a second-generation AirPods Max and a more affordable AirPods will happen in the second half of 2024 or the first half of 2025. We just started 2023. So Apple's looking to aim for a $99 price point for the more affordable standard AirPods, but no details were given by Kuo for the new AirPods Max. Now, we also know we might see some spec bumps for the iPad family this year, but the focus, again, is really being pushed towards the Apple Reality Pro headset. And I think it's going to be really interesting in 2023 because at CES, we really saw tech companies from the pandemic until now, they just stepped up with big new ideas and innovation from every category. While to me, at the moment, the feeling right now is that Apple, they're really going all in on their headset as their crown jewel and feature product for 2023, while the rest of the ecosystem and iPhones keeps on maintaining. Now, we also know a new Mac Pro is expected to come out this year. The latest from Bloomberg says Apple's new high-end silicon Mac Pro will feature the same design as the 2019 model, with no option for user upgradable RAM due to Apple's integrated memory chip for their current chip architecture. Now, there will still be expansion for more storage, graphics, media, and networking cards. And at the end of the day, look, pros care more about how their desktop performs versus how it looks. But, you know, we've been teased with the idea of an all-new Mac Pro, I guess by the rumors and myself. And if this holds true, you know, it might be a little bit of a letdown if Apple's fastest computer with a brand new chip looks exactly the same as a machine from over 3 years ago. But how many of you that might complain are even going to buy one? Probably not many. Now, we also heard reports that Apple canceled plans to release their higher-end model of the upcoming Mac Pro with 48 CPU cores and 152 GPU cores because it would be too niche and costly. So for me, that Mac Studio, the Mac Studio that came out, just keeps on looking better and better for me right now. And Apple, they've been testing a new version of the Mac Pro that's reportedly running a version of macOS 13.3 which could point to a release in spring based on past history. But the new Mac Pro, I mean, we know it's expected sometime this year. We also know that Apple's continued to move towards making as many of the parts and components of their products in-house to really control the experience more. A recent report from display analyst Ross Young says that the first Apple Watch with a micro LED display, which has been rumored, will debut in the spring of 2025. Now, Apple typically releases the Apple Watch in the fall, so maybe that timing could change, but a follow-up report from Bloomberg claims that Apple is planning to use its own custom displays designed in-house for mobile devices like the iPhone and Apple Watch. And this is really a move to rely less on other partners like Samsung Display and LG Display and control its products even more. The report says that transition will start with the Apple Watch Ultra with a target at the end of 2024. Apple's already testing micro LED to bring a brighter display with more vibrant colors and improved viewing angles, but maybe this timing could change to move over to 2025 based on the reports. But that move would also align with the report that Apple is hoping to finally replace Qualcomm's modem chips with their own as soon as 2024. Now, we know Apple's been hard at work after their acquisition of Intel's smartphone modem business, but it's proven to be nuanced. It's just not so easy as flipping a switch. And Apple's also reportedly working on a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip that would replace the components that it's using from Broadcom. So the hope is for Apple to develop a singular chip that can handle cellular connectivity, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth into one component. Just call it one chip to rule them all. So we'll see how it all comes together in the next couple years. And as we wrap up, I thought it'd be a great time to just look back and remember that 16 years ago this week, Steve Jobs announced the very first iPhone at Macworld on January 9th, 2007. It's also the birthday of my nephew, Jake. What up, Jake? But I was also there, and it's still, it's crazy. It's an amazing thing how far we have come and how it was a true game changer for smartphones. And I still have mine, and it's still working. Look, I can swipey swipe. It is just incredible. This is the thing that started all. This changed everything. All right, everybody, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest deep dive with all these stories and new ones every week with special guests. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace and love.